Namaskar. Welcome to Ahara Arogya Adhyatma, the light of Samskara. Today we have Dr. Kiran Kulkarni. She is a MSc as well as MCH, both in gynec as well as the OBG. And she is the professor of gynec oncology in St. John's Medical College. And she is the secretary of their society also. And more than that, she's concerned. Her whole family, her mother, her husband, her family, all are doctors. And then her concern is to bring awareness among the public so that, the diseases can be prevented. Especially being an oncologist, she is worried about the cancer. Today, she is going to tell us about the cancer of the cervix. So please tell us how often or what is the incidence of this cancer cervix and how it differs from the other cancers and what is the importance.
Very good evening, madam. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I must say it is very apt because January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. So
Wow.
I think this is the right time that we are doing this podcast. So why I am so passionate about cervical cancer is the common notion is that when once cancer comes, everybody feels that it is incurable and it is not preventable. But very few cancers are preventable, of which cervical cancer is one of them, which is 100% preventable. Because we now know that the cause for it is human papilloma virus. And as far as incidence, it is the second most cancer afflicting women in our country and worldwide. Lot of cases are occurring day in, day out. In fact, every 8 minutes, they say a lady dies of cervical cancer. So a preventable cancer, if we are still in this era, women are losing their lives. It is a shameful thing. So definitely steps to prevent it have to be taken.
No, when you say the shameful, it is on both. The doctors have to bring awareness and the people should also take the advice from the doctors. And that is also
Definitely
very important. Yeah.
I totally agree on that.
Yeah. And
so
what
both
are
steps,
the symptoms? What are the symptoms for them to come to you?
The thing with cervical cancer is that it is a silent disease. So by the time the symptoms develop, usually the lady is already in advanced stage. So that means we pick up in a stage where we can, she needs very radical treatment modalities like chemotherapy, radiation. They will also be not operable in that stage. So in the early stages or even in the pre-cancerous stage, the lady does not have symptoms. That's why the importance of getting one screened comes. So the simple tests like HPV DNA test, PAP test, women are not aware of these tests. They hardly take 5 minutes time and to be done once in 3 to 5 years, not even annually. So if these tests are done, then we can pick the changes which are precancerous, almost 10 to 15 years before cancer develops, and we treat it at that point of time, then we can 100% prevent this cancer. And that precancerous stages treatment is on OPD basis, costing very less money compared to the treatment for cancer.
Oh, so here the misery and the money both can be prevented, saved, provided they come in time. And then you said about the pap smear and then the other test. Oh, how costly is it? Is it available freely all over or what is it?
Very much nowadays, I think all the government centers are offering, are equipped to do tests like pap smear. And also all the private hospitals have HPV DNA testing as well as pap smear available. And the cost is not much, same somewhere ranging, different hospitals, different charges, but it can range somewhere from 500 rupees to 700 rupees in a subsidized hospital.
Nothing.
Like
that is nothing. Yeah. It is
government,
less costly than the sari that they buy.
Definitely.
Yeah, just 5 minutes for the test and then less than a sari cost, and then their whole life can be safe and they can be happy. So apart from this, what are the other ways of preventing it? Because, the pap smear is to detect whether the infection is there or not. But preventing the infection itself, producing the antibodies so that they don't get the infection, that is much better. No, the prevention is better than cure.
Yes, there are two ways of prevention of the cervical cancer. One is by vaccination against the human papillomavirus, and other is certain lifestyle modifications which we can do to prevent this virus infection happening. So simple thing, because we know that human papillomavirus is a sexually transmitted virus, and the incidence of this is higher in women who start sexual activity at a very young age. So taking care that, at an appropriate age, the sexual activity starts, avoiding multiple partners, usage of, condoms during sexual intercourse, and also avoiding other cofactors such as tobacco chewing or smoking. These are some of the lifestyle changes or modifications which can be adopted to prevent HPV infection and persistence, which leads to cancer. The next very important thing is the HPV vaccination, which offers excellent protection against this virus and subsequently cancer. This is best given for girls between the age of 9 to 15 years, and if missed at that particular age group between 15 to 26 years, though it is licensed for use till the age of 45 years. Even boys and men up to the age of 26 years are also eligible to receive this vaccine in our country. And vaccine also, government is slowly trying to make it available in the government centers for a very less cost, or even free for that matter in some of the states. And the cost also is slowly coming down as far as this is concerned.
Yeah, in fact, I remember 2 years back, during the budget, the central budget, our great finance minister, Nirmala Sitharamanji, she kept a specific amount for this vaccine to be given to all the school going boys as well as the girls. Because that is very important, just giving the girls is not adequate, even the boys. And that is really wonderful. Now, a lady, they are having all these precautions are taken, and in spite of that they get, and when they come with the symptoms of bleeding or pain after the coitus or something, what exactly do you do, and what test do you do to confirm the diagnosis?
So just a little bit more on the symptomatology, which I missed earlier. So a lady can present with intermenstrual bleeding, in between periods, random bleeding happening, spotting happening, or a classical feature is foul smelling discharge, which is blood stained, and post intercourse bleeding. These are some of the common symptoms. And in the very advanced stages, the lady can also have backache, loss of appetite, difficulty in passing urine motion. When a lady comes to us with these symptoms and we have a look at the cervix and we see that it is abnormal or there is a growth there, the confirmatory test is a biopsy. We take a small part of the cervix and send it for testing, which ultimately confirms the diagnosis.
Okay. So the histopathological diagnosis is the final, and that is the one. And then what do you offer? Is it the surgery, or how do you decide what has to be done?
Like in all cancers, if detected early, there is a chance of cure. Even if cancer has already occurred, if detected early, we can cure the lady of that cancer. So the first and beginning of second stage, we can offer surgery. But subsequently, beyond the second stage, surgery should not be done for this cancer, which is more harmful rather than being helpful to the lady. So, so chemotherapy and radiation. Radiation would be the main treatment with an adjuvant. Along with that, chemotherapy can be given for curing this cancer.
Okay. So the chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery, all of them, it is very painful and miserable and very difficult to tolerate it. So I think the message that you're clearly giving to the women is beware of the virus. And that, first take the vaccine when they are young. If you have missed the vaccine, and then take the lifestyle management and the changes, and then finally getting the pap smear or the detection, and that
HPV
would
DNA
really,
testing.
that will be the one which can really prevent them from getting into the cancer. So thank you very much, Dr. Kiran, for explaining so beautifully and so in such a simple way. And I'm sure many women who listen to you will change their mind and decide to protect themselves from the cancer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, madam. I think mindset change has to come. We should
Yes.
give up that hesitancy to get examined
Yes,
and
yes.
pap smear to be done. So because women, as you mentioned, don't think twice before spending money over beauty products or getting a beauty treatment,
Yes,
which
yes,
is
yes.
equally much more painful. But when it comes to getting a simple pap smear, they are scared and they don't come forward for it even when resources are there. So thank
Okay.
you so much for this
Yeah.
initiative, madam.
And
Really
I
helpful to
think
the
you have hit the nail on the head. And if women have got any questions, they can ask in the question box, and then Kiran will be very happy to answer your questions and then help you. And more than that, what is important is always prevention is better. Be healthy, happy, and then avoid the misery and the expenditure in the later stages. Thank you very much, Dr. Kiran. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.